what could a possible essay structure for this essay question be? So, in your introduction, what you might do is introduce the topic of gender differences in marriage and intelligence. You could highlight the study conducted by the 4 British universities, emphasising its findings regarding the relationship between IQ, gender, and marriage. You could acknowledge the criticisms, briefly, of the study's methodology and the outdated nature. You could present the aims of the essay to critically analyse the psychological factors underlying gender disparities whilst considering the limitations of the study. So what do I mean by this? You basically introduce the topic very briefly, highlight the study, so mention the study and quickly introduce the fact that you've read it and that you're aware of it. Briefly acknowledge the criticisms, but don't go into too much depth, as the introduction should be relatively brief. And then you set out your aims of the essay and how you are going to argue your case. So you might sort of introduce each paragraph. So you might say, I will discuss this in relation to cultural differences, different types of intelligence, and gender norms and expectations, or something like that. And then in terms of the main body paragraphs of your essay, so let's imagine here you have 5 paragraphs within the essay. Let's say they're each 300 to 400 words each. The first paragraph, may include a critique of the study methodology. So you might start off by going into the criticisms of the study in terms of how it was designed and carried out. And this could include things like the sample size, data analysis methods, the fact that it wasn't very generalizable to a cross-cultural population. And then you'd go into how these limitations would influence the study's findings. So the fact that, they actually studied IQ at age 11, and then they measured marriage outcomes at age 50. That could be a big limitation that could have impacted the study's conclusions. You could also explore how they didn't test for other factors like personality that other more recent studies have done. And then you could end that paragraph by exploring the implications of flawed research design on the understandings of gender disparities in marriage and intelligence. Your second paragraph could focus on the impact of outdated research more broadly. So, analysing the consequences of outdated research and how this shapes perceptions on gender differences, whether that's gender differences in intelligence, gender differences in likelihood to marry or be satisfied within their marriage. And you could discuss how societal norms and attitudes have evolved since the study was conducted, which I think is very important. And obviously with that, you want to draw on some specific evidence and statistics to make that point clear. And you could consider the importance of updating research methodologies and findings to reflect the more contemporary modern realities that we can see in modern societies today.